Amen. Hey, I hope you received that prayer.
Yes. Yes.
We're in the middle of our vision retreat, and yearly we have a vision retreat because it's important for us to become focused on what we ought to be doing and how we ought to be doing it, so that now the activities that God has said we're supposed to abide in actually happen. You know, there have been many good ideas that have flowed in the realm of life that they flowed by, they drifted away because there was no application. And today what I want to do is I want to spend some moments talking to you about applying your insight in God to your way of living, so that now you might be productive, you might be prosperous. Even in the midst of dry times, you would have the ability to be able to bear fruit, so that you have such a revelation in Him that your circumstances don't define who you are, nor what you're growing. And you have such steadfastness that even in times of barrenness, you know how to dig deep to draw out stuff that allows you to flourish. Man, the Lord is really talking this morning. Okay. Well, I know He's talking to me, okay. I can't. Anyway, back to the subject. We're called to be change agents. Things are supposed to be changing because we're in the atmosphere, we're in the region. And so what God is trying to do is that He's trying to open up our eyes to the change that He wants to use us to administrate. And so we've been spending time talking about this idea of systems because we're all wrapped up inside of this global economy sphere activity. We're wrapped up in it. We're surrounded by it. The forces of nature, the pull of gravity has literally cemented our feet to the earth. So to a great extent, what's going on in the world around us, it's affecting us. And this system that has been built in the realm of the earth is flawed. And I'm not saying everything about every system is negative, but what I am saying is that in every system that is man-made, there is an undermining incremental move by the enemy to cut us off from following the truth that God said we should live by. And so as a people, we have to gird up our minds to be discerning of the systems that have affected our personhood, who we are, how we live. I'm trying to talk to you just naturally this morning, and I hope I don't get into one of them spells, you know, where I begin to thrust out more volume than I need to. Didn't that sound pretty good? And so I got to talk to you about systems. Now, last week we spent time, and I'm going to just run through this real fast. We spent time understanding this idea of what the Scripture says concerning what we ought to give ourselves to. We've been stuck in this idea of self for a real long time. I mean, to some extent, many of our young people have been coined as the selfie generation. And they've got that name rightly because all they want to do is see how they look. And they're only looking at the outer appearance. They're not really paying attention to what's growing on the inside. And so consequently, you know, they're being led astray by a spirit of error. And I know they don't like to hear that right there because they think they're right. But in reality, what's growing in them is wrong. It can never grow what they've been made to grow by. And so the Bible tells us this plainly right here. It says that in order for us to come to this place of awakening, we cannot enter into the unknown under our own understanding because our own understanding is limited concerning how to enter into that which God has prepared. God has to show us how to enter into the things that He has prepared so that now when we enter in, we don't mess up what God is trying to do. Even when people enter into marriage, they enter into it with their own understanding rather than letting God show them how to do what they're trying to do. He instituted that. And so in order for it to work, you got to do it His way. I know. All of us have our own ideas, and we think that they're so nifty that they outweigh God's ideas, okay then?
But to be honest about it, you know something?
You need to bust away from that popsicle stand. Okay? You got to, that's right, you got to blow it, okay? And so it's really important that you come to this place of freedom where you trust God's way. And that means laying down a lot of stuff because all you really know is your way. And God wants to reveal to you a way that's higher than your way, a way that's better than your way. And I know sometimes when we go into God's way, it seems like we suffer more. And what I mean by suffer, that we suffer the ill effects of other people when they bring their attitudinal differences into our space and think that they're going to bring their difference and cause us to be indifferent. You know, it's like somebody coming over your house and they just put their foot up on your coffee table and it's all muddy. And they like, well, I got my freedoms. And you like, well, you in the wrong place to be expressing that. You in my house, you know. And some people, you know, they'll have the audacity to try to combat you about what you living in. And they want to bring their stuff up into your place. And they wrong, they dead wrong, but in their mind, they think they're a legend. And you know something? That's all they is. They're a legend in their own mind. Okay? And the problem is that they become stuck in living in their own ways. And so their perceptions are bent according to the experiences that they've had. Some of them are angry. You know, some of them are depressed. Yeah. Haters. They want what you got. That's what the thief does. What you work for, what you put they want what you got for free and will violate you. And in their mind, they think that they justified. Because they got a right to have what you have without working for what they want. Okay? And the Bible says that if you don't work, but that's how messed up the minds is. Okay? And so, literally, we have to take off our gowns, our clothing, our fleshly insights and say, God, I won't know the right way unless you show me. I know that's humbling because, man, we like to scratch our head and figure it out sometimes, and we think that scratching our head sometimes is going to bring us the answer. Now, all you're going to do is just claw into your skin a little deeper. You mark yourself up, And the Bible says, stop leaning to your own understanding, but come to me. Read my word, study my spirit. Spend time dialoguing with me so that now I can reveal to you how you ought to live. Now, I must admit, there's a lot of things you got to break up when he starts showing you how to live. Because there's a lot of things that you don't even understand that you've given yourself to, that you've attached yourself to. Systems have subtly creeped in, and they've systemized your life to the point that now you're living off of something that is broken. I mean, you have to be honest. Most of us, when we wake up in the morning, and we know we got someplace to go, what is usually the first thing we go and do? Okay, get your coffee. All right, that's some of us. What else we do? Check your phone, okay? Okay, what else we do when we got someplace to go? We got up in the morning. What else we do? Brush your teeth. Now, let me ask you, how many of us that's part of our system? I'm hoping it is. Don't you be coming out looking like that. After you wash up, what do you usually put on? Hey, am I right about that? Now, check this out. Most of us have got that soul rope down in our head that it's just automatic. Am I right about that? You don't even have to say, now, what should I do next? I got up this morning. Okay. We become systemized to do that. Now, y'all know that there's people in foreign countries, they don't even use deodorant. No, I know y'all ewing them. Don't be ewing them like that. Don't be hating. They believe in being natural. Y'all don't feel that. I know. See, we got our culture here. No. Let me tell you, over there, they don't even smell that because they all smell the same. You know something? If you go over to foreign countries, they will tell you smell more like beef. And when you smell them, they'll smell more like fish. their culture. Okay, let me give y'all one more. You see, y'all messing up the message. But I'm trying to help you. They took a survey and they did an in-depth search of people who are Quakers. What do they call them? Amish. Yeah, that they are. Amish people. Thank you. Okay, and anyway, they did an in-depth survey and a search of them. And so they came back with results. And they were talking to the mothers. Listen to this. The mothers, the Amish mothers. And the Amish mothers reported this about us natural American mothers. They said, we feel sorry for the normal American mothers because they have to spend so much time trying to buy electricity that they can't spend time bonding to their kids. Say, we get to be with our kids and we raise them by our hearts. But they have to go find somebody else to raise their kids all day long while they're trying to make money to pay for electricity. Y'all don't feel them. See? See? And we've been systemized. No. You got to address your thinking. Get somebody a high five and say, I got a lot of growing to do. Come on now, y'all know. I'm trying to hook you up. I'm telling you, there's some stuff. Let me tell you something. I understand that a lot of stuff is good stuff. But I'm telling you, there's some stuff that we've rooted ourselves in that literally God has to show us how to detach. So that's why we're having this vision retreat. Because we can't afford to be wise in our own eyes. See, you know, it's like this. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I buy stuff that I ain't even opened up the carton for. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Some of y'all done bought dresses, shoes, all kind of stuff that you ain't even put on yet. Or maybe you wore it once. Come on now, y'all help me here now. Because see, the problem is that we are a generation of people who want to gather. You know, I remember, I had the Galaxy 3, and I kept it, phone, up till 2 years ago. You know, they have went through several generations of new phones, and I was like, this bad boy's still working right for me. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I mean, it was doing everything. I didn't have no problem with it. And then we heard this sale going on that you could get the Galaxy 7, for this price. And I'm telling you, something just got in our spirit. Y'all don't hear me on this right here. My 3 was working well. I still got it in my case. It was working. Wasn't nothing wrong with it, y'all. Y'all know the flip phones still work. Pull one of them bad boys out and see how people look at you. But Pastor, I ain't got no problem with it. See? But, yeah, that's right. Hey, now, see, now some of y'all be like, no, I ain't being archaic like that. Come on now, y'all, listen to how we've been the system has worked us. Let me give y'all one more story. They started a new factory down in South America. And anyway, it was an impoverished place where they started the new factory at. So anyway, what they did is that they started the factory and told the people, come on to work, and the people were just glad to get the jobs, you know what I'm saying? And so anyway, when they started the factory up, the factory was just booming, man. Everybody was on time every day for the first 3 months. Then after the first 3 months, people started taking off, not coming to work, just not showing up no more. So they tried to figure out what was going on. Well, what had happened is that the people had gotten all the money that they needed to get the things that they thought they had to have. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. No, listen. They didn't need all that stuff like we got. All they needed was the necessities. And so they stopped coming. So let me tell you what they did. What they started doing is they started sending them magazines of things that they could get in order to lure them back in. Oh, God, y'all. I'm trying to help y'all here. Y'all not listening to me. So that now They had to come back to work so they could get other things that they really didn't need. Woo! Systems. And that's why you can't afford to lean to your understanding. I know you even need to let God help you with how you budget your money. I mean, even when you go to the store and you see things that you like to have, you need to let God help you with what you really need to get. I know most of them, that's my money, I work for it. No? Okay. All of that belongs to God because you belong to God now. Okay, all right. I'm going to back up on that. I'm supposed to be talking about systems, okay then? I'm talking about systems. I'm going to try to stick to the subject. That's why I say be not wise in your own eyes. I know that's difficult for us to conceive that. You know, we be like, well, if I throw that away, then what am I going to be led by? You know, I got to have some kind of ideas of what's going to be my parameters or my principles. So God says, no, I need for you to throw your principles in and take mine on. He got good, safe principles. He'll show you how to love even the unlovely. They'll be acting rude towards you, and you'll still be able to act nice towards them. Now, you know most of us don't believe in that right there. Like, you act nasty to me, then you know what you're going to get back. Nasty deserves nasty. We have these philosophies, you know, that go, no, if you bust me in my lip, I'm definitely going to bust you back, and I'm going to bust you twice. Okay. There you go, an eye for an eye. I lose one tooth, you got two that's got to go. Woo! No, listen. I'm teaching you. I want you to understand what you believe. You believe something that's contrary to what faith says. And it's the systems that you've been locked into that has caused you to believe this impoverishment. And it's become your mentality to the point that now it dictates how you feel. I'm happy if I buy something. I'm sad if I'm broke. You're emotionally attached to this stuff. If they celebrate me, I'm happy. If they reject me, then I'm sad. No. Systems have slowly and manipulatively attached themselves to you, and now they're dictating how you roll in the course of life. In other words, you can't go in a dry place and flourish. But you've got to come to the place where dry places don't dry you out. You have to understand that the blessing is in you, not in the spot you're standing on. So if somebody tries to move you off the spot, they can have the spot, but the blessing still goes with you. Let me see if I can get us through this, okay then. We ain't gonna get nowhere today, I can tell already. No, y'all ain't got no time for this. Y'all really ain't got time for this, because where I really want to take us, you're gonna have to spend time actually working it through. You're gonna have to, it's not a one and done. You're gonna have to spend time rehearsing this truth in order to overcome the old false truths that you live by. You're gonna have to rehearse it. And so let me see if I can just get past this, okay? Last week we talked about the system of change, and we went through several things, and we talked about some scriptures. And what I was really trying to do is I was trying to lay out to you that the whole Bible is designed to help you to come to a place where now you understand how to break the systems that have attached themselves to you. You know, I mean, I had somebody to ask me just the other day. They said to me, I'm an introvert, and I know that God wants to use me more, but I just stay stuck in this shell because I just feel inferior. Introvert. And they said, what can I do? Because they heard me say that I was an introvert. So, so they're like, what can I do to break this wall around me, this barrier? And I said, well, I know that God has given you the gift of compassion. I said, when you go to people and you pour your compassion on them because they're hurt, they sense a difference. Well, what you need to do is that you just need to start finding places where God can use your compassion, and you'll become an extrovert in giving out people what is naturally in you. And after a while, those will become your testimonies to the point where now God is using what is natural in your life to cause you to be an extrovert about what God is doing. I mean, who wouldn't want to tell everybody, I put my arms around this lady and she was broken, and when we got through, she got up whole. You know, when something is joyous, you want to tell it. And you ain't got no problem with telling it. Why? Because you've been given power to be able to testify about the goodness of it. So anyway, let me get y'all through this. We went through all of these scriptures and everything. See, y'all really need to go home and spend time drilling these scriptures in you in order to be able to grasp them, because these are so key and critical, okay then? And so anyway, what we're going to do today is that we talked about the systems of the world a great deal last week, okay then? Now what we want to do, we want to talk about the systems of spirit. Okay, systems of spirit. Because see, there's many different spirits that are floating around in the air around you that are having influence over how you perceive, how you respond, how you act, how you think, and how you actually relate. Spirits. And you need to understand the influence of systems of spirit. The enemy has a system. I mean, Jesus said he's trying to sift you as wheat. System. You know, we don't fall through the sifter automatically. There has to be some shaking going on. Woo! And he's trying to shake your faith out of you. Your belief in that God is so good that nothing that happens to you is going to destroy you, but it's going to work for your good. Amen. I got fired last week, and you telling me that's going to work for my good? No. Sometimes you get in a dead-end job, and the only way God can get you out of there is by getting you fired. I know that's hard. Now, don't you be going around messing up. You don't come to work, okay? All right, now you setting up your own consequences. But if you do that which is right, then you know that God got your back. So you ain't got to let a fire set you on fire. You can be cool in the midst of a fire and be like, hey, God, what's the next move? That's that. See how I'm swaying with this? That's the kind of confidence we should have. Hey, God. But see, you got to grow something to come to that place. You got to study to show yourself. You got to spend time with him so that now he produces in you what is the spirit of excellence. Does that make any sense? Okay, so we only going to get a chance to talk. I got so much more on here, but we only going to get a chance to talk about a few of these because I know I'm going to get in trouble. Okay, y'all can't see that little thing in the middle right there. Woo! Okay. That's a very important statement. What you do shapes who you are. What you do. Now, I know conceptually that's hard for you to understand, but literally, the acts that we participate in shape the person that we become. So in other words, if you cuss, you're going to become a cusser. Y'all know it's a simple formula. If you steal, you're going to become a what? Now, check it out. Somebody might cuss once. That don't mean that they're a cusser. But if you continue doing that, it will become attached to you. Does that make sense? It'll become part of your spirit. As a matter of fact, you'll have an inclination to actually embrace how it makes you feel. And the feeling that you embrace is a feeling of release and even some joy. False joy. I mean, there are people who they've attached themselves to violence. Now, all of us can be violent, but we don't practice being violent. There are some people who have a practice of it, the gangs. As a matter of fact, the only way you get in, you got to be initiated in. You got to do an act of violence in order to get into the violent gang. Now, I'm saying all of this because there's something that you have been doing that has shaped who you are. Oh, God. See, but you know something? But we need to be exposed to this. Just shout out, Lord, expose me. Now, I know a lot of y'all don't really mean that. Oh, no, you need to be exposed. Let's pull the cover over this. Okay. God is a private God. You know what I'm saying? He won't pull the cover off you in public, but you need to at least let him pull it off in private. Come on now. If you can't have a private conversation with God, then you in bad shape. Your spirit is perverted to the point that it's reprobate. Ain't this a good vision retreat? Yeah. Okay, I know it. Okay, yeah. The Bible said, with all your getting, do what? Man. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Okay, okay. Come on now. We all had to come this way. I had to come this way. Ain't nobody exempt. If you're going to get it right, then you got to straighten up. Come on now. This ain't no new stuff for you, just idea that you just been postponing it. But let me tell you, you got to deal with it sooner or later, either here or on Judgment Day. Okay. Come on now, y'all. Roll with me on this. This is a friendly conversation. He trying to hook a brother and a sister up. That's all. He don't want you to be ignorant of what he's trying to do for you. But you can resist him. And there's some people, they always resist the Spirit. And he's like, come on, dude. Come on, man. What's up? Come on. You know, I'm trying to straighten you out. He sang that song, let's straighten you out. But y'all got to, okay, let me stick to the subject. Okay. What you do shapes who you are. Okay? Now, that has been done to you incrementally over time. And you got some dues in you that you all not done. But you do it anyway. Woo! Woo! But when God is saying that I can undo what you done did. But you got to quit doing what you're doing in order for me to undo it. Yeah? You've been scribbling on the wall, and God been saying, stop scribbling on the wall. You know what I mean? Yeah. Y'all know how them little toddlers do. They like, my little grandson, he done picked up yesterday wanting to put his finger in his nose. I'm like, dude. I mean, he only 11 months old. But y'all know how that happens. Don't y'all act like it's strange. And dude don't like when I correct him. He want to. It's like that with the saints too. You picking and you ought not. Okay, okay. What you do shape who you are. Let's do it another way, okay then. What'd that say right there? Who you are is shaped by what you do. That's the same statement put backwards, okay then. Some of us don't get it that way, so I had to do it backwards and forward in order for it to sink in. Okay? Now, if you do God, God shapes who you are. But if you spend time just doing you, then you will be shaped after you. Born in sin, conceived in iniquity. Okay. I understand it. You're doing the best you can because that's all you know. Well, God is saying, I want to show you some stuff you don't know that has not been revealed to you by your flesh. I want to show you greater. That's why he allowed us to come into the experience of being born again so that our minds would be open to the reality that there's something greater than what we've experienced. And so that's why he tells us to come unto him. All ye that are heavy, heavy laden. He says, come. Why? Because I'll give you rest. I'll show you how to live this thing for real. And you'll like what you live after you learn how to stop doing what you've been doing that has shaped you in a way that now you're corrupt in your being. Okay then. So, who you are is shaped by what you do. Now, that's an important concept that you need to drill in your mindset because this is a key to witnessing. See, just like I'm talking to y'all, y'all know y'all can carry on this conversation with other people, and y'all can actually joke and laugh about it because it's true. It's happened to all of us. There's no exceptions. I mean, it's like this. If you do the nasty and you ain't got no protection, you're bound to come up pregnant one day. Or worse. Okay. I'm just trying to hook you up.
Amen.
And don't be like, oops, I didn't know. Yeah, you know what you was doing. Come on. Okay? So, and then the thing about it is that you become attached to that spirit. Oh, God. And that spirit of lust, it begins to drive because now you done got caught up in a woo, and it's got you going in circles. You don't know whether you're coming or going because this thing done latched into you. Come on now. And that's because of what you did. See, and you are shaped by what you do. And you got to have somebody to break the cycle so that what is attached to your spirit no longer has the power to drive who you're called to become. Simple. Okay. We ain't gonna get no further than this, I can tell. I got so much to give us. And I can't hit all of this. See, there are systems that have attached themselves, spirit systems that have attached themselves to your being. Spirits of thought. For many of us, it's difficult for us to conceive the idea of total surrender. What does that look like? Your thoughts. And then you want to limit God, by telling him, well, I'm slow of thinking, so I can't get it. He done already told you the truth. All you got to do is just receive it. And then he'll unfold it. Okay? Systems of thoughts. Ooh, man, sometimes you have to watch that stuff that come into your thoughts. Anybody ever had a thought of wanting to hurt somebody before? Anybody ever had that thought in the last 6 months? Wanting to hurt somebody. Check it out. If you ain't do nothing but hurt their feelings. How come all y'all didn't get y'all hands up? Y'all know y'all wanted to hurt somebody's feelings. You wanted to. Check it out. You had a thought. Now check this out. You ain't exempt from the enemy depositing thoughts in your mind. That don't mean that you doed it. Okay? It don't mean you did it. It was a thought. How many of y'all thought about not maybe coming to church this morning? Oh, thought. Come on now. And then how many of y'all thinking now, man, I sure wish he would get this over with. But when you're on the table with the doctor, you got to give him time to operate on you. Man, I wish everybody was here with me. Some of y'all trying to escape in y'all thoughts. Y'all trying to think about anything else but here. Thoughts. And then there are ideas, spirit ideas of a way of living that we've attached ourselves to. Some of y'all, I'd hate for the Lord to call y'all to be a missionary. What? No more indoor toilets? Because your idea, y'all feel what I'm saying about ideas? You got ideas. How many of y'all had a dream and an idea about how you thought life should unfold? Y'all feel what I'm saying? This is what they always use, the white picket fence, you know what I'm saying? With a little gate, the nice little bungalow house, and a couple of kids, a dog and a cat, a little fish tank, you know what I'm saying? The idea, you know what I'm saying? And you live on Happy-Go-Lucky Street. And everybody living there is happy, and it seems like they're all lucky. Say, you go out in the morning, you greet your neighbor, hey, Mr. Jones, how you doing, Mrs. Catherine? Just everybody just getting along, Rodney's dream has finally come true. Y'all know Rodney, don't y'all? Rodney King. Can't we all? Yeah, I mean, we got some ideas. I mean, how many of y'all, when y'all get into a relationship with someone, your idea is that we just gonna work out good? Do y'all hear what I'm saying? We're gonna be like two peas in a pot. I mean, I hope that's your idea. I don't think that you go into a relationship saying, we're gonna really tear each other up. Come on, let's get it on. I don't think nobody going in with that idea. You know, you go into it hoping that this is gonna be it. Am I right about that? And then when you get in it, you find out that it ain't what you thought it was gonna be. And then your ideas get shattered. Listen. What I mean by your ideas get shattered is that now what your expectation was, it failed. And now you're frustrated because they didn't meet your idea. It's just like this church. Some of y'all had the idea that when we got together, it was going to be this great, wonderful time where I could just finally be me, and now God's sending you through changes. Yeah, I mean, y'all know what I'm saying? I mean, Pastor wants you to be dedicated. Yeah, study. Oh, man, I went to other places. They didn't have all those requirements. I mean, to know your stuff. You know, to be a participant in the work of God. You know? And you like, well, I'm shy and I don't like talking to people. And Pastor saying, you got to be open and loving. And you're like, well, that's what he think. Y'all hear what I'm saying? You got your own secret ideas. He might tell me to do this, but he ain't the boss of me. Yeah. But the thing is that there should be a Holy Spirit in you that's bossing you now. That's right. That's it. And literally when you hear the truth, your heart is supposed to attach to it because it's designed to set you free from doing what you've been doing that has been shaping who you are. Just tell yourself, stop it. That's what you have to do sometimes. You ever had a bad attitude about something and you just took it into the situation with you? And anyway, it ended up, unlocking itself while you was in there, bled out, you know what I'm saying? And all it did was just make the situation worse. Sometimes you just got to say to yourself, stop it. Just stop it. You know, you have to treat yourself like you would a child. Can y'all understand what I mean? I mean, because sometimes we can be childish in what we're doing. We're not taking the adult role. I know they smacked you, but don't smack them back. Be the adult. I mean, it's just like with marriage counseling, You say to the two people, who are having this spat, I need for the more mature one to stand up and take the action of reconciliation. Don't nobody be like, that's me. I'm the more mature one. They go first. They know reconciliation needs to happen, but they ain't willing to break where they are in order to break up what's binding them. We ain't going to get too far today. Ideas, philosophies. Philosophies are the things that you pick up in the world. Like Socrates and Aristotle. All of them have philosophies. Philosophies are ideas of systems on how to process things. Philosophical spirit things. Philosophies. This is what my mama did. This is what she did. This is the philosophy that we've been raised in. Don't nobody come up against us without getting the butt kicking. Philosophies. Philosophical ideas that have been now deposited in your thinking. It's like the Big Bang Theory. Philosophies. Those are philosophical thoughts that have a system attached to it. Now, I want y'all to understand all the stuff I'm talking about is systems. I'm talking about spirit systems now. And if you ain't wise enough to discern, that's why I said discernment is so important, to discern when something in the system that has attached itself to you is in error. I mean, even the computer's got enough sense to know when something is in error in their system. Try logging in and putting the wrong password in. Check it out. You ought to have enough Holy Ghost in you that when a system an intruder tries to come into your life, that's why we got an alarm system. Y'all know what it do. It lets you know when somebody come in here who ain't got the right password. Keep us safe. That's what God is trying to do. Keep you safe. Boy, ask your neighbor. Say, neighbor, do you really want to be safe? Okay. Man, some of us dragging our feet in that right there. Say, yeah, I want to be safe, but I don't want to go through no changes to be safe. That's idea and thoughts. You want to keep doing what you're doing and expect to get a different result. Insanity. There we go. Boy, somebody picking up on something. Okay. Delusional thinking. Oh, man, this is all spirit stuff. This is spirit stuff. Spirit stuff. Jesus was not delusional about the people he was dealing with. I ain't delusional about the people I'm dealing with. I know that y'all going to throw up some of this stuff. That's why y'all in the hospital. It's okay to throw it up. Just know that you're sick. Don't be trying to pretend like you're well and you're sick. Yeah. Let the doctor help you. Dr. Jesus will come in with his spirit and he'll correct what is causing you to be sick. You got to get healthy. Healthy mentally to the point that you ain't dependent upon other people to define your significance. Wife, boyfriend, husband, girlfriend, kids, neighbors, friends, job. No, you got to get healthy to the point that you can stand and no longer be indoctrinated by the system. Even your financial condition. Let me tell you something. Poor people can be just as blessed as rich people. As a matter of fact, they tend to have a better prayer life. And they're more in touch with God. And they can typically call down things and wreck the enemy's plan better than rich people because they think their money can solve everything that they're going to. They throw some money at it. Okay. Delusional thinking patterns. Deceit of mind. Believing that you don't really need him like that. And so you're going to do what you do and mix some of him in there. Don't you know that you make a mess when you mix him in you? Well, let me see if I can just do one little thing. I'm not going to be able to get through the other stuff. I got so much other stuff. We have to get back to it next week, okay? So tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, stay tuned and be back next week. You know, it's like the woman at the well. She was a well worshiper. Now let me explain something to you. See, when Jesus came to the woman at the well, he already knew what her issue was. But he couldn't necessarily expose it to her all at once. Her issue was her faith. And when Jesus comes to deal with us, he really comes to deal with our faith. But he had to deal with her incrementally and break down some other systems that were a part of her life before he could deal with the real issue that was clogging up her life. See, it's like this. She was deep into her, but she wasn't really deep into him. Listen. See, it's like this. She was strong in her religion, but not strong in her relationship with him. See, what you do shape who you are. And so she had all of these false ideas, mentality about her condition, but the root of it was that her faith was in the wrong thing. And so Jesus had to walk through her issues tenderly and softly. And so he dealt with it with just a simple idea of, give me something to drink, please. And she was talking about how deep the well was. Well worshiper. And you ain't got nothing to draw with. I don't know why you're talking to me because y'all know we don't get along like that. You know, some people that y'all don't get along with like that. And you holding up the living water from them. Because that's what he told her. He said, look, I know you ain't getting this right now. Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, make sure you're getting this. If you need to, just scoot up a couple seats. That way you can hear it. Okay, then. You got to get this. He tells her, I want to give you some living water. And you know how some people with their smart aleck self, thank you, I need some help with that. They're like, well, bring it on. Let me see this living water you got. And so he begins to deal with some things she's doing that a stranger should know about. And so he said, well, before I give you the water, do me a favor. Go back and get your husband. She's like, what do you got to do with it? And she's like, why y'all up in my business like this? Oh, you're talking about my husband. He said, well, let me help you with what you really got going on, what you doing. He said, you don't have one husband because you done got a spirit relationship, a stronghold, a soul tie with many of them. You got about 5 of them, don't you? And she's like, whoa, what you mean? He was like, I can smell what you've been doing because it's shaping you. It's all over you. And so she tried to change the subject. Well, so she like, y'all Jews, y'all think y'all know everything. But we got a special place where we worship. Now, I might be doing all kind of wrong stuff, but I do get into the house every now and then. And I will praise him up and down. Speak in my tongue, do my dance. And y'all thought y'all had something, but we really got it going on. And Jesus says to her, you don't know what you're worshiping. Because you're going in there for a little religious frenzy, but then when you come out, you're still doing what you're doing. And it's shaping who you are. And you really are not understanding that God is looking for a worshiper who will worship him in spirit and in truth. Yeah. You're not true to what you ought to be worshiping. You're worshiping false ideas, and those spirits are now defiling who you really are. Yes, yes. And so she's like, man, you get kind of deep here. He said, I perceive you must be a prophet. You know, now she's trying to give him, she's trying to move him back up. You know, she want him to be like, yeah, you're right. I am a prophet. And he says, what you think about me ain't really what I'm trying to get into you. And so she changed the subject real fast. She said, well, we do know that when Messiah comes, he going to straighten all of this out. So in other words, what we've been doing, when he comes on the scene, all of his glory, literally everybody going to straighten up. We're going to be like, okay, we holy now. We right now because we know that you God. And then Jesus says to her, I am he that speaketh to thee. And that blew literally everything that she did out of her life to the point that now revelation came. And she got to the point that she realized she needed to do different because the shaper was there to shape her up right. And literally what she did is that she took on true worship and she went and told everybody in the city about where she had encountered at the well worshiper. She told them about the deep stuff that had happened to her. Oh, God. While she was out getting water, she took on well ministry to the point that she was able to tell others about the deep things of God, and they came running to see what God had done to her. And all of them became well worshipers. They entered into the deep in such a way that they would plead with Jesus, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. What you're teaching us right now, we finally coming into truth. It's finally happening. What we've been doing is finally being erased, and now we're getting the Spirit to do what we ought to do. True worship has finally impacted our lives in such a way where we're free to live life as we ought. God. Oh, I better stop right there. It's too much. I got to get y'all to just digest this. Oh, I would to God that you were hungry after him. I mean, no, thirsty. Because, see, the systems will suck you dry to the point that even when you dry, you won't go to the place of being refreshed by true water. You got to break the tie of the system. Check it out. You ain't got to worry about the idea of you coming to the place of transformation. All you got to do is just be hungry enough to want to break it. God will bring the transformation. See, the Bible says you have not because you ask not. I mean, the thing is that you got to have a desire to ask. Say, God, do this for me. Give me this living water. That's all he said. See, he know you can't do it for you. And what you've been doing has been rooted into you so long that he's going to have to take some time to get it out of you. He's going to process you out. You're not going to stop cussing and never cuss again overnight. But he's going to process that cuss out of you. Amen. The curse out of you. The thinking out of you. But you've got to seek him. It's like this. I'm going to tell y'all something. I got this way with God, not because I was so good, because I just saw him like this. Let me tell y'all something. When I got born again, I had some real issues. And let me tell you something. They didn't leave as soon as I got born again. But I had to just stay on the altar and say, God, you called me to this. Now you got to deliver me so that I quit doing the stuff I used to do that was shaping me out of shape. And you know what he did? He worked on me. He kept giving me that castor oil every day. He was flushing it out of me. You hear what I'm saying? Just flushing it out of me. It took him a few months to get my system clean. But if you don't come and take the medicine and say, God, see, he can only come in the places where he's welcome. The Bible says he knocks at the door, and that's what he's doing today. He's knocking at the door. He said, now, if you open the door, I'll come in and I'll help you with this. And he's such a kind guy. Check it out. Even though I was still messing up, he's such a kind guy. He just kept renewing my spirit. You can do it. You can do it. You're going to overcome it. You're going to overcome it. Oh, that's the way he works on us. And you've got to come to the place that you become open and say, God, work on me. These systems have got me messed up. Some of us, we take on a mentality to the point that now, how we should be responding to God, we are pressing it. And God is just saying, come to him and just say, God, help me with this. I know this ain't the way I'm supposed to be, but you help me with it. I need your help. See, it's like this. You got to learn how to call on the person who can help you. And many of us, what we do is that we sit back and we expected him to do something and we ain't invited him in. And he's a gentleman. If he ain't welcome, that's why we sing that song sometimes. Welcome into this place. Welcome into this broken vessel. So we lift, and we lift our hearts, and we lift our hearts, and we offer up the sacrifice of praise. Come on now, let's open up the altar. Come on now. It's like this. We got to go greater. See, it's like this. Somebody's got to fill your shoes. You understand what I'm saying? It's like this. You've been in this position, and others got to come in, and it's like this. You can no longer be a bench warmer. You got to get in the game. And God just says, come on up. Let's talk to him. And say, God, it's some stuff that I really need. I need some discernment, some wisdom. I need some insight that will cause me to move generations above others. I need that. And you're the one who have it. And God just says, come. Thirsty people. Find a place to worship him. And just say, God, you know something? I'm tired of doing what ain't really doing me right, what ain't shaping me in the power of freedom. I can't, no, check this out. I'm not going to stop knocking at your door until you finally deliver me, until you finally give me power. No, I'm going to keep knocking. You said, check it out, you got the shape that's messed up, but God said that he would fix you up. You need to just keep knocking and say, God, I'm still knocking. You got to do it. Because only he can set you free. But you got to learn how to knock. Don't be hesitant. I mean, so many of us, you know what we do? We take this non-response place. And God says, come. Come. I mean, what did you come to the house of God for? Did you not come to be renewed? Did you not come to be strengthened? Did you not come in here for God to bless you? Well, God says, come on, let's get the blessing rolling, but you got to ask. Come on, are there others who will come and join us this morning? We got higher to go, greater to do. But it's about us coming. It's our coming. And we let the devil hold us in places that he ain't got rights to, but it's because of the spirit attachments that we've allowed to hold us. And God is saying, I can deal with that. I don't care where you at. I'll process you out. No. You'll start thinking different. Even though you might be doing something different, you'll start thinking different to the point that now, what is repulsive in what you do begins to change how you do, and you begin to do and to extract out of your life the things that no longer agree with how your life should really be rolling.